What's going on, CFTC and Rostin, Benham, and the like? I know you guys are busy. You aren't answering any of my phone calls. So I'd like to just make a video for you. I know you guys are trying to beat climate change, and that's where your budget is might be going to, not looking at the silver or precious metals markets. But I know you. I'm sure you guys are living in a home like this. It heats and cools itself, built out of recycled materials, grows its own food. Even in 30 below zero weather, it grows its own food, and doesn't need a heating system, doesn't need a cooling system in the summer. I'm sure you guys are building this, and I'm sure you guys are aware of this. This is probably your lifestyle. I know you don't got private jets and stuff and trying to battle climate change that way. But if you're not aware of this type of home, this is actually the real deal. So I'm sure you guys are actually know about this and are looking into this. But today I wanted to talk about silver, the silver market, and the gold market for that matter. I've been investing in gold and silver for the past, since 2007, and I've been trying to buy a house with it, build this house. It's been a painful ride, I must say. I've had panic attacks over the silver market. I almost lost my life to it in 2015. The endless days of sleepless nights, worried. And I know you guys are onto this and see all the manipulation and all that, and you can't prove it in court because, people got lawyers. It's disheartening to say the least, but it is what it is. I accept it. I would just wish you guys would tell us that, like they had the balls to do in the 30s, just make owning gold illegal. Because if you're going to control the price and you're going to deceive people, what's the point? Come on, what's the point? Every Federal Reserve chairman has written about gold and the relationships to debt and interest rates. Check Alan Greenspan, check Paul Volcker, check Ben Bernanke. Lawrence Summers written a paper on it about how they can control interest rates by manipulating prices of things, especially precious metals. Just make it illegal. Have the balls to do it. Come out and say it's illegal to own gold and silver. We're tired of you guys buying it. Because you know why we're buying it? Because you guys are printing a lot of money. You're devaluing the currency. You don't want to pay for things when you're with work. You don't want to tax people. It's hiding the truth. Printing money is coward. It's coward. Now, let me tell you something about proof. I know you can't prove anything in court. It's really difficult. Check your old commissioner, Bart Chilton. He says that it's impossible to prove a lot of things that were happening, but he knew there was manipulation. And by the way, I'm finding out from Chris Marcus that Bart Chilton said that the other commissioners were just deleting or blocking their emails. It seems like you guys are blocking your phone calls now. Okay. Let me tell you something about a country that does these things. Okay. It's the convenience. It's manipulating stuff is very convenient for the short term, but in the long term it sucks for everybody. Not just for me, but for you. Let me tell you a story. My family's from Cuba. My grandpa had a 1,000-acre farm. He had hundreds of employees. He fed hundreds of employees. Castro took over, who was a lawyer. You might have a little familiarity, can't even speak, with him, being a lawyer and all. He said he wasn't communist. 90% of the population backed him. One of the reasons is because Batista was a bad guy, and I'm not denying that, but 90% of the population supported Castro, and one of the reasons is because he said he wasn't communist. My grandfather even fought for Castro in the beginning. Slowly, Castro started taking over properties. He started taking over everybody. And eventually, Castro came into my family's farm and said, "This farm is too big. You have too many employees. It's got to be broken up." My grandpa worked so hard for that farm, for his employees. And he said no. He said, "Get out of here." Next day, the guys came with guns, with machine guns, and told him, "Your bank account is now frozen. You're giving up this farm." My grandfather got really worried. He ended up burying 100,000 pesos in the ground. That was cash. That would be worth $1.5 million today if it wasn't gold. Then the Communist Party came in and stole another piece of property that he had, and he ended up applying to leave this country, his country. He got fed up. It was illegal to kill your own cows that you raised for yourself, and he ended up slaughtering one in the bathroom to feed his family. They slaughtered it in the bathroom because they were worried about people spying on him for killing his own cow and feeding his own family. He ended up leaving. He got put on a lottery. That $1.5 million worth today of cash is sitting down there completely worthless because the currency expired, because governments print money and expire currencies. Exactly what's happening right now. Exactly what the founders put in the Constitution, because they knew that you would commit crimes to allow people to print money and deceive people, lie, cheat, and steal. And now you're being caught. You were caught long ago, but now it's running up against you again. My grandfather ended up moving to the US. Left one behind because he was of military age, and that you're forced to join the military in Cuba if you're over 18. My grandfather borrowed 10 cents when he got here. They strip you of every dollar when you came here back then. The communist government stripped you of all your money, all your belongings. My grandfather was strip searched in the airport because he was being cocky. He came here with 10 cents. When they strip you of your money, they call you a traitor when you leave the country. He borrowed 10 cents to make a phone call to his mother, who lived in Connecticut, and he immediately got a job. Never accepted any welfare. Didn't know a word of English. My family would sit around the dinner table trying to learn English with records. Actually, back then there were records, so it wasn't like today. He tried to learn the language as fast as he could while working 2 jobs. He started being a butcher at a hotel, then the restaurants, and he opened up his own meat business. My aunt, in the meantime, fell in love with my uncle. They met on a blind date, and she moved out of Connecticut. My grandpa had everybody follow behind her. He didn't want to split the family up even more because my my uncle was still in Cuba in the military. My family followed my aunt, the kids did, and my grandpa tried to sell his meat business in Connecticut. He ended up not able to selling it, so he gave it up. He came to Minnesota with nothing again. Then he started a business again in 1975 with my family, my uncle, my dad, my aunt, my uncles. They all worked. Everybody's worked there. My cousins. Everybody. Today they have 70 employees. Today they have 70 employees. America is a great country. It really is. There's just a lot of things that are not okay right now. And one of them is the fact that one of the reasons why our country is so stable is because we've had a sound currency, and it has not been sound for the last few decades, and it's caused this system to be so corrupt and starting to unravel. Every system like this unravels. The example of Cuba, people burying their money, it's coming. Shortages, it's coming. Rationing, it's coming. You know, all I gotta say is the difference right now is that the rich are, it's not like communism where, you know, just a handful of people benefit from it. Well, it kind of is, actually. The rich are benefiting from this so much more than the poor are from this money printing. And I'm just gonna say, you know, you need to go to bed at night. You sleep at night, and you know, I just curious what you talk about during the day about the silver manipulation, because it is so obvious that people are manipulating these prices, and they just don't give a damn. I've read the comments. I've read the comments between the traders. Trader says it's standard practice. Government's given exemptions. JP Morgan's take over Bear Stearns exemptions. There's exemptions all the time for them. Not for us, but for them. I am so confident one day, if you don't do your job, the market's going to do it for you. And you're going to have to explain to the public why you manipulated these prices. You are blowing up commodities. Silver contract defaults. What about hogs? What about cattle? What about corn? What about wheat? Where's the market going? Is it going to China now? Did you gut the whole system? Is it going to another country because we gutted it? We just printed money and manipulated prices to keep our wealth without having to work? Is that what you're doing? Eventually it dies. Eventually it evaporates. Venezuela is rich. Look at it now. Cuba, I think, was the second richest country in the hemisphere before Castro took over, despite Batista's ruthlessness. I'm not giving excuses for the previous leader of Cuba. All I gotta say is it's over. Either you're gonna take action now, or you're gonna look like a fool. You guys are gonna look like fools. You don't answer anybody's calls. You put some silver manipulation thing on your website. It's on the front page. I think there's only 4 things that you're discussing on the front page, and silver is one of them. Yet none of you talk about it. All you say is you tamped down the market, according to Chris Marcus. Not according to Chris Marcus. Actually, he posted the video of your chairman saying that. He's also discussed your other commissioners, previous ones, that have admitted to manipulation. So obvious. Just tell us. Tell us that you're manipulating it. Stop giving us... Just stop what you're doing. That's all I gotta say. I mean, I'm trying to build a house here. And, you know, the protection of inflation is generally gold and silver. It's always worked. It's always will work. You can manipulate the price all you want, but the shortages come, and now we're at the shortage stage of everything. It's not just gold and silver, shortages of everything. People are going to be rationing, and the media is going to say it's hoarders and price gougers. It's not what it is. You just have somebody to blame, but you just need to look yourself in the face every day and look in the mirror and say, I am to blame, because I did this. I watched these people manipulate markets, prices. As long as stocks go up, everything's good. Bullshit. The debt. Zimbabwe stock market. Look at that thing. You think the people of Zimbabwe love the stock market, love their wealth? It takes $1 trillion to buy 4 eggs? I don't think so. This house, the lumber, has tripled this year. Has tripled. I'm sure it's because of a storm. It's not because of money printing. I'm sure the PVC that I'm trying to buy right now that doesn't exist because the resin is gone is just because of a storm in Texas. Right? Every storm just knocks supply out over the past 100 years, right? Why don't you tamp down lumber, Rostin? Tamp down some lumber price for me. I would appreciate that. It's going to benefit everybody. Just tamp it down. Tamp down lumber prices. Tamp down everything that I need so that I can unfairly buy stuff at a cheaper price. Please do that. I'm waiting for it.